Hi, welcome to Feminism on Trial. If you remember my last video, which was longer ago than I'd like to admit, I was talking about how I hit the wall at 22 because of my diagnosis of MS. Well, it sort of is very apparent to you guys because you haven't seen a video from me in over a month. I've been battling. I've been having more bad days than good days, and I'm not trying to make this channel about that. However, this is my point. When I said I hit the wall, I didn't necessarily mean that I was unattractive or that kind of thing, although it's not attractive to be, limping or have no energy, etc. I was keenly aware that I didn't have much to offer to a man. I didn't want to be a person that just mooched off of another person, and I didn't want to burden them with my struggles. And I remember when I broke up with a fiance back in 2000. And, well, he broke up with me. But anyway, that's another story for another day. He broke up with me, and I realized that I didn't pick well, I could have said, oh, he's this, he's that, and I'm sure that I did. But I also knew that I chose him. And I also chose the one before that. So what they had in common was me. And I realized maybe this is not something I should even be participating in. I mean, dating, marriage, all of that. I resigned myself to the fact that it just wasn't in the cards for me. Part of it was I didn't think that anyone would want me. I didn't think that anyone wanted to, take all this on, like the chronic illness thing. It's a lot. And that's fair. I said that in my last video. But I also want to add that, like I said, I was keenly aware that what do I have to offer, And around, I want to say 2011, I didn't date. I went from 2000 to 2012 without dating at all. No dating at all. No trying to date, nothing. I just focused on my career as a horse trainer and giving riding lessons, and I put all my energy into that. But people were like, you gotta get out there. You gotta have a life, etc. And I was like, there's nobody for me, basically. I would tell these people, I have nothing to offer. I would say that again and again. And now with everything I've learned about gender roles and the way women are, I mean, the people telling me I needed to get out there were women, and it didn't register to them that I had nothing to offer, because I think in a lot of women's minds, you're a woman, that's all you need to do. Just bring the V, and that's all you need to do. But I didn't even understand that then, because that does not make any sense to me. I grew up in a household where I was told by my parents, you need to be a productive member of the household. Makes perfect sense. You don't just lay around and let everybody else do the work. And I wasn't about to put that on someone, particularly someone that I cared about. So I didn't even go down that road. Now, before I started dating, I got a phone call around 2011 from an ex from way back from high school. So in 2011, well, I'm 44 now. You guys can do the math. Math is not my thing. But it was 10 years ago, so I was 34. Ha, easy math. This ex from high school found me like through my horse training website. It was crazy. I mean, I picked up the phone thinking, oh, maybe it's a prospective customer. And he was separated from his wife, and I could tell he was kind of feeling me out, etc. And we do agree on, our faith and a lot of things. And, we were together in high school for a bit, and we were compatible. And one of the things I said to him was, yeah, but, it's not going to happen for me because, I don't have the energy to cook or clean. And right away, it was like, oh, I love cooking, and I can take care of the cleaning. So I read that to be, oh, he's interested, and he doesn't really care what I can do or what I bring to the table. But I knew that I didn't feel that way about him anymore, but it was definitely something to ponder. Then I went on Match.com, and I started dating this man who was about 11 years older than I. That was in the end of 2012, like August of 2012. And once again, I was like, I don't have the energy to cook and clean, because I felt like that should be my responsibility, which is really interesting because I wasn't, a men's rights advocate yet. I didn't know then what I know now, but it was still in me that I needed to contribute, and those were things that I should contribute, because that guy, he was an executive, he was a vice president of a company, very successful, and that's what I wanted to bring to the table. And once again, he was like, it's fine, I don't mind cooking, I don't mind cleaning. And I thought, that's weird, it's just weird. Anyway, looking back, I'm like, oh, that guy was MGTOW. He was never gonna, have a long-term relationship and commit. He was just having fun. He'd been through a divorce, he was paying alimony, he had 3 kids. He was over it. I didn't know that then. I didn't know anything about MGTOW then. Looking back, I don't know if he called it that, but certainly that was his attitude. And again, I don't blame him one bit. Not one bit. Not after being put through the ringer and, having everything taken from you, and everything's a struggle with the kids. Why would he want to put himself at risk like that again? So I get it. Then I dated another guy after that who I knew from high school, and he didn't really have his own career, his own agenda. He was an ex-Marine, but he left the Marines due to an injury, and he was just kind of coasting through life. I had the agenda. I was the horse trainer. I was growing my business. And when we were dating, he was kind of following along with me. And looking back, I can see how emasculating that would be for him, to feel like, well, what is he going to do? He would be sort of in the supporting role. He also had a child and had been through a divorce and been accused of things. I had to find that out through some investigation online. He ended up ghosting me after a time. Looking back, I go, I think that was another MGTOW guy. Another guy who had been burned. I seem to attract MGTOW men for some reason, or there's just a plethora of them. I don't know. But, he ghosted me. There was not going to be any kind of commitment. I have never dated, even in high school, I've never dated anyone that I wasn't thinking ahead of time like this could be forever, because I just didn't date just for fun, so that's always been on my mind. After that, I was like, well, I proved my point to all the people saying, you gotta get out there, you gotta have a life, blah, blah, blah. I was like, see, I tried, didn't work. My point is that I did not think it was fair to be in a relationship where I just sat around. And then, cut to 9-10 years later, and I'm learning all of these things about the way relationships are going, because I was kind of like in a cocoon, I was just like, focused on my own thing. I was living on a farm, I was working horses, I didn't ever go out, I lived with my mom, I was completely sheltered. And then cut to, later on, my mom had passed away, and now I realize There are so many women in relationships, in marriages, that do not contribute. Like, they might contribute in the beginning. Maybe they have a job. Maybe that's the relationship that they've chosen to have, where they both have a job and it's a partnership and they split the housework. This is not something I would choose, but I also believe people should have their freedom to live their life however they want to. But there's so many instances where the woman has a job, the man has a job, then maybe the woman has a baby or maybe not, she's feeling stressed at work, etc., and she quits. And the man is still working. But the woman quits, and she doesn't like suddenly become homemaker of the year. She doesn't start making her husband's life, easier or what have you. She doesn't start homeschooling the children. She's just at home. And this is talk about a pandemic. This is an epidemic. Women just mooching off of the man. The man does not have the option to quit his job because he's stressed out or whatever the reason is. He just doesn't. And that's not fair. It's not right. But somehow it's okay for a woman to do it. So when I say I hit the wall at 22, what I mean is I was fully aware I did not have anything to contribute to a relationship. I didn't know that didn't matter. Women aren't contributing. They're just there. It's like, well, why do you expect me to do anything? I'm the prize. And I just wanted to add that to my whole I hit the wall at 22, because it's not just about not being attractive. It's not just about walking with a cane or having a limp or being fatigued all the time. It's not just about that. It's about being able to, in my case, what I would want to do is serve my husband and make his life peaceful and easier. And if I were to have kids, to homeschool them, take care of them, make sure I was there. And I knew I didn't have that. So I took myself off the market. I just don't get how women can think that they deserve to be in a relationship and not contribute. Just not. And I don't even know if they're aware of it. Are they so conceited? They're just like, well, you're just lucky to have me. I'm just here. I'm the prize. Once in a while, I'll let you, make love to me. If you're lucky and you've behaved yourself and you've emptied the dishwasher. But if not, then I'll hold it over your head and use it to manipulate you. No wonder men feel the way they feel right now. And then if they're stuck in a marriage like that, what can they do? Cheaper to keep her, right? So they're stuck. They're working their job. They probably, they don't work because they love it. They work to provide. And then here's this woman who's just there, and she's going to Starbucks, she's getting her nails done and having girls' night out, all on his dime. And how can they be okay with that? I don't get it. I really don't. I feel for you guys out there that are like, what the hell? It's not right. You men are right. And you should be able to have expectations on your partner. You men should be able to, expect something in return. That's not wrong. We all know, God, women have expectations. What is it? The rule, you got to make 6 figures. You got to be over 6 feet tall. There's another one. But anyway, you have to have all this criteria. And what is the criteria for a woman? God forbid you have any expectations, because if you have an expectation of a woman, well, then you're a misogynist. Makes no sense. There should be expectations on women. There should be expectations on everyone, you know? And if you love someone, how can you say you love someone and you just mooch off them? And you don't, you know, whether you've chosen to have a career and contribute that way, whatever you guys have decided to do, if you've decided to be a stay-at-home mom and you both agree to that, but then you never clean, you never cook, like, it blows my mind, because I never knew that women were like this until I kind of came out of that cocoon and started to pay attention to the world and learn basically from the MGTOW guys and just from seeing people that I know. And I'm not going to mention any names because that would be wrong. I've not mentioned names in the past. I'm not referring to anyone particular, but I think you all know people like this. And women need to get their act together, and they need to start deserving it. You know, women used to deserve chivalry, but they don't anymore because they don't bring anything to the table. So I don't blame you men for walking away from the table if she's not participating. So be well, and I will see you next time. Feminism is guilty of